The team moved swiftly, retreating toward the obelisk chamber as the sentinels pursued. Their shimmering forms refracted the dim light into blinding bursts, creating an otherworldly chaos. As they neared the entrance, one of the sentinels surged forward, blocking their path. It emitted a low, resonant tone, causing the ground to quake. Lyric raised her weapon, but before she could fire, a sharp voice cut through the commotion. "Enough!" The voice echoed across the battlefield, carrying an authority that froze both humans and sentinels in place. From the shadows of the structure emerged a figure, humanoid, yet distinctly alien. Their form was cloaked in a translucent armor that shimmered like starlight, and their eyes glowed with an unsettling intensity. "I am Serathis, custodian of the Eilari's threshold," the figure declared. "Your presence here is not unexpected, but your actions have disrupted the balance." Lyric stepped forward cautiously, lowering her weapon but keeping her stance defensive. "We came seeking knowledge, not conflict." The sentinels attacked without provocation. Serathis tilted their head, their gaze piercing. The sentinels do not act without purpose. They protect what remains of the Eilari's legacy from those who would misuse it. "Then let us prove our intent," Lyric said, her tone firm. "We came because the Eilari's knowledge could save countless lives. The galaxy teeters on the brink of chaos, and we believe your people's wisdom could bring it back from the edge." Serathis regarded her silently for a moment, then gestured toward the obelisk. "The knowledge you seek is within, but it is not freely given. The Eilari believed that understanding must be earned. You have triggered the sentinels, proving your persistence. But that is only the first test." The ground beneath the obelisk rumbled and a spiraling staircase descended into the depths. Lyric exchanged a glance with Ralos, who nodded despite the apprehension in his expression. "What lies below?" Lyric asked, her voice steady. "A proving ground," Serathis replied. "Only those who can navigate the trials of resonance will gain access to the Eilari's legacy. But beware, failure carries a heavy price." "And the sentinels?" Ralos interjected, gesturing toward the crystalline guardians that now stood motionless, their forms shimmering faintly. "They will remain," Serathis said. "Should you falter, they will ensure your journey ends here." Lyric turned to her team, her resolve unwavering. "We didn't come this far to stop now. Gear up, we're heading down." As the group descended the spiraling staircase, the air grew colder, and the walls glowed faintly with the same shifting glyphs as the obelisk above. The passage seemed endless, the hum of energy growing louder with each step. When they finally emerged into a cavernous chamber, they were greeted by an awe-inspiring sight. The room was a labyrinth of shifting platforms and glowing nodes, suspended above a void of infinite darkness. Pulses of light moved between the nodes, creating a symphony of sound and color. "What is this place?" one of the operatives whispered. "The trials of resonance," Serathis said, appearing beside them as though they had simply materialized. The Eilari believed that harmony, both internal and external, was the key to understanding. "Each of you must find your path through the labyrinth, attune to its frequency, and emerge on the other side." "And if we fail?" Lyric asked, though she already suspected the answer. Serathis's gaze darkened. "The labyrinth does not forgive." Lyric took a deep breath, her heart pounding as she stepped onto the first platform. It pulsed beneath her feet, and the entire labyrinth seemed to shift in response. The others hesitated but followed, each finding their own path as the platforms began to move, separating them. As the labyrinth came alive, Lyric realized this was no mere test of physical prowess. The patterns of light and sound required intense focus to decipher, each step demanding a balance of instinct and intellect. And above all, the hum of the sentinel's presence lingered, a constant reminder of the stakes. The Eilari's legacy was closer than ever, but so too was the shadow of failure. The labyrinth shifted constantly, its platforms moving in intricate patterns that defied logic. Each step seemed to demand not just balance, but an understanding of the strange harmonic frequencies emanating from the glowing nodes. Lyric focused on her breathing, her sharp instincts guiding her to move when the platform beneath her feet vibrated just slightly. Around her, the team grappled with their own paths. Ralos knelt on one platform, scanning the glowing symbols etched into its surface. while another operative stood frozen, overwhelmed by the shifting light and sound. Lyric knew hesitation was dangerous. The labyrinth wasn't just a test of resilience, it felt alive, observing and adapting to their every move. "Focus on the rhythm," Lyric shouted over the growing hum. "It's guiding us, don't fight it." The moment she said it, she realized the truth of her words. The entire structure thrummed with a kind of music, a symphony that seemed to shift in response to their actions. Lyric closed her eyes for a moment, letting the rhythm fill her senses. When she opened them, the path ahead became clearer, a series of platforms pulsing in time with the beat. She stepped forward confidently, each movement aligning her with the labyrinth's flow. Her pulse quickened as she leaped to the next platform, feeling the surge of energy beneath her feet. For a fleeting moment, she felt in harmony with the system, as though it recognized her determination. Then a sharp cry pierced the air. Lyric spun around to see one of her operatives slip from a platform. They scrambled to hold on, but the edges of the surface seemed to dissolve, and they vanished into the void below. Lyric's stomach twisted, but she forced herself to focus. She couldn't save them, and she knew the labyrinth wouldn't care. Ralos shouted from across the expanse, his voice strained. "Commander, these symbols, they're patterns. I think they're showing safe paths." "What do you mean?" Lyric called back, leaping to a new platform as hers shifted beneath her. Ralos pointed to the glowing glyphs etched into the surfaces. "They change before the platforms move, like a warning. If we read them right, we can predict the sequence." "Good work," Lyric yelled. "Relay the patterns to the team." But as Ralos began to decipher the glyphs, the labyrinth reacted. The glowing nodes dimmed, and the platforms began to shift faster, their movements erratic. It was as though the system had realized they were adapting and it was trying to outpace them. Serathis' voice echoed suddenly, calm, but filled with weight. "The labyrinth rewards harmony, not shortcuts. To manipulate its flow is to invite chaos." Lyric grit her teeth. Of course, the Eilari would design a trial where raw intelligence alone wasn't enough. This was a test of something deeper: intuition, trust, and perhaps even faith. She called out to her team again, her voice cutting through the disarray. "Stop fighting it. Stop overthinking. Let the rhythm guide you." The shift in approach was immediate. Ralos stilled his frantic analysis and began moving with the flow of the labyrinth. The remaining operatives followed suit, their fear replaced by cautious focus. One by one they progressed, their movements synchronizing with the labyrinth's ever-changing melody. Lyric pressed onward, feeling the pull of the labyrinth growing stronger. The glyphs illuminated brighter with each step. To be continued.